The truth of the matter is that the Vice Chancellor asked me to send my citation, which I did. But somewhere along the line, I added a number of things that I didn't include in the handwritten, in the one I sent. I guess these days there is no ID place with the internet. The internet doesn't forget. So I'd like to also start with the protocol by acknowledging the governor of Osun State in absentia, who is the visitor to this institution. Then the chancellor, who I understand is currently outside the country. I think the university is blessed with the caliber of people that you have here. You know, one of the most successful lawyers in Nigeria is your pro-chancellor. And for whatever reason, he calls himself a madam, and you know madam means teacher. So I think he's at home, being our pro-chancellor and the chairman of the council. And I guess what has qualified me to be here today is just because the Vice Chancellor, Professor Clement Adeboye, is my friend. That's the only qualification I have, not so much about the citation. So I recognize all the members of council, including my sister, Professor Omotosho and Baba Conley. I use them as point of contact to other members of the council. Our witnesses will recognize you first. And all the vice chancellors of sister universities, I could recognize the vice chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Akure. I think the first female vice chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Akure. And also, I think she's the first female vice chancellor of any federal university in southwestern Nigeria. So I recognize Professor Latuji. And the title was what the Vice Chancellor gave me, Sustaining a Productive University System in the 21st century, the key elements in the debate. And I think it's fairly straightforward. So if we also, the VC has already set the pace by highlighting the achievements of this university over the last 15 or 16 years. I must confess that I came here in November last year, and that was my first official date here for accreditation. And what we saw in your Department of Geological Sciences, we were very impressed. So we recommended full accreditation, which was eventually granted by the Council of Nigerian Mining Engineers and Geoscientists. And because I came with a professor from Federal University of Technology, Akure, the thing is that most state universities, when you go there, when students finish lectures, you think they are coming out of a football stadium because they over-admit students. So we are pleasantly surprised that in your Department of Geological Sciences, the student population is manageable. In fact, we have more microscopes than students in that department. And that is also partly due to the kind of leadership that the university has had over the years, starting with at the executive management level, starting with Professor Shola Akiriazi, former chairman of Committee of Peace Certificate before he came here, through to the second vice chancellor who is here today, then to my friend and comrade in arms, Professor Labode Kukuola, it's like you must be my friend before you become VC. The last VC was my friend. He took over from me as dean of the postgraduate school, and the current VC is also my friend. And then, of course, naturally, I congratulate all the graduates who will be receiving their various degrees today. I think from the information I gathered through the press conference addressed by the Vice Chancellor a few days ago, that 233 graduates must have been awarded degrees or more than was today. So I wish all of you every success in your career. You will be joining about 12,000 alumni and alumni, depending on the spelling, who have completed their respective degree programs here as at the end of 2020-2021. So as we speak, by the end of today, the university will have produced about 14,000 alumni, which I think is highly commended. I think the Vice Chancellor also mentioned the fact that by now maybe you have about 15,000 students. I mean, that is huge. We find out that Oxford, Cambridge, they even have less than 30,000 students each. And in spite of having been a system for the better part of the last 800 years, both University of London and University of Cambridge. Imperial College, I was surprised they now have about 17,000 students. The student population used to be much smaller. Because when you look at higher education, at least you have to balance the equation, the iron triangle they call it, in terms of access. That's we want to open the gates to as many students as possible. But of course, cost is also very important. An investment in education, and of course, the quality. I mean, you talk of ranking, you want to be among the best universities in the world. The truth of the matter is all those things don't come on a platter of gold. I was in Abuja maybe about 7-8 years ago for a workshop organized by the British Council. So there was a professor who came here from the School of Oriental and African Studies, one of the great London colleges. So he was telling us that he doesn't really understand how the London School of Economics and Political Science, how they operate. At any time, the London School of Economics and Political Science, anytime they increase their tuition fees, more people will apply. Because they think with a degree from London School of Economics, you are made forever. So of course they draw a lot of students from all over the world. So you have to strike a balance. So it's not just, if it's by population, student population, I mean many universities in Nigeria will be among the best in Africa. But you find out that the best universities in Africa are in South Africa, Cape Town, Woods, and the rest of them. So it's a conscious effort. Of course, many students or prospective 18-year-olds, they want to come to the university, so why not? If I was a child who is 17 or 18 years, I want him or her to come to the university for obvious reasons. It is particularly exciting for me that you graduate the first set of 5 Doctor of Philosophy candidates. So it means that the university has really come of age. Because there is a World Bank report that talks of why Ibadan was a successful university in the early 60s. Part of the reason was that the culture of research was built into the system at the University of Ibadan, such that even though it was established as a college in 1948, by 1952, Ibadan had produced the first PhD in the late Professor Sonyawonibamiro, who was also a politician at the same time. And I joined the Vice Chancellor to congratulate all of you for the approval for preclinical accreditation of your College of Health Sciences by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, while at the same time increasing the admission quota, as the VC has just mentioned, from 75 to 100. Even though he said now at par with University of Ibadan. You know where I come from, there is a saying that so we are very happy. You can achieve more than us, it doesn't really matter. Of course, this is my state of origin, so I'm doubly proud of your achievements. And I also congratulate the 2 recipients of the honorary degrees, who both of them are essentially benefactors to the University of Dr. Osogbo, who sits on our advancement board, and Dr. Victoria Sampson of Bobas, who has done us proud. I mean, she's an old student of my school. So thank you. At least I need to mention that. And a member of your campus is also a new student. Professor Omodosho is also a new student of the grammar school in Ilesha. Okay, Ilesha Grammar School at its known formally. There is an inscription which reads 3080 as part of the goal of your university. This is in reference to that when the University Establishment Law was passed by the Osun State House of Assembly in December 2006, as signed into law by His Excellency Governor Olatunji Oyelola, the National University Commission granted approval and formal recognition to the institution as the 30th State University and 80th University in Nigeria. So some 16 years down the line, now we have about 57 state universities and 111 private universities. So if we are going to adopt that same template, it will have been 58 to 17. So you can see, just to say that the number of universities keep increasing. I think for those who have a copy of the booklet, you can see the distribution of the various universities. Osun State alone has about 10 universities now. 7 are private, 2 are federal. The great Obafemi University Level and the Federal University of Medical Sciences at Ilarun. In the remaining parts of this lecture, we have attempted to highlight the benefits of university in the 21st century. Then funding, nothing is free, not even in free time. Someone has to pay for it. Then ranking, which the Vice Chancellor himself has also alluded to. Then what can make the Nigerian universities to be the preferred destination in Africa? Then postdoctoral research fellowship program. It's good we have already started with producing 5 PhDs. I guess it doesn't really come cheap to produce a PhD. So benefit of university in the 21st century. I mean, just to say that university education, whether in Nigeria or elsewhere, is both a private good and a public good. Private to the extent that I grew up, maybe let me see, Osogbo to Ilesha is about 32 kilometers, at least on the old road. Maybe where I grew up is about 40 kilometers from here. So if I didn't have the benefit of primary, secondary, and university education, I wouldn't have been here. I would just have been a farmer in the village. So I have benefited, of course, through the effort of my parents, and because when we talk, of course, at times, I think when I was Vice Chancellor, and anytime we arranged some students that they were sporting, all of residents, I used to have guilty conscience. Because when I was also an undergraduate, I sported for 1 year. I was supposed to be a local bed like Sotambilo, but my second year I was in accommodation, so I went to Independence. So I told the students that I was an ambassador of Sotambilo to Independence for 1 year. So we have to balance all these things. But again, just like the Vice Chancellor mentioned, most of the federal universities have been closed for the past 7 going to 8 months. So it's just to reach a balance. And I think I must thank on behalf of the university management for the information provided to me. The co-chancellor and also the chancellor and people like Ravakon, they told me that you award a lot of scholarships. I think it's not written in the booklet. So if students are indigent but they are very brilliant, I think we should also find a way to accommodate them. And I think the Vice Chancellor and the management is already in there. Even maybe the previous Vice Chancellors also, they've started. So, because at every convocation, the federal government, the visitor is the President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. We always mention that government alone cannot fund the universities. Even though again, we also say they don't want to charge tuition fees. So it's just to strike a balance in terms of assets. We want as many students as possible to come, then the quality, and quality assurance and all that. So for us, we think education is both a private and a public good. Public good to the extent that if you don't produce lawyers, so we want Osun State to produce many Yusuf Alis in the next 15 years. If you don't go to the university, you can't become a lawyer, no matter how hard you try. You can't become a doctor, but you can only become a lawyer if you have not had the opportunity to go to the university. So you have to, for you to be certified, you have to come to the university. So it's that important. And if you don't produce enough, then it means we are going to be importing people into the country. Some years down the line, you can even see a country like the UK in the 1960, when Nigeria became independent. I think the population of UK was more than that of Nigeria, but now Nigeria has a higher, almost 3 times the population of the United Kingdom. But if you train our youths, then they can always go elsewhere. The Indian Institute of Technology and the rest of them. So most of the programmers in the US and the leaders of IT companies in the US, they are Indian origin. So the important thing is that welcome to the VC. We have to train our youths, both formal education and also skills. And 3 basic ingredients in terms of this. Need a high concentration of talent. I read the profile of your Vice Chancellor, I was jealous. It has been all over the world. Everywhere. I think the interview started in the front. Just like I was telling the VC that it's working with the composition of the council here. It doesn't get better than this. So it's very important. The teaching staff, the researchers, administrative and support staff. Then abundant financial resources. Where I come from, there is a saying that Morocco had a deco. So if you don't have the money, you can't get to Lagos from Ilesha. So everything costs money. Administrative and support staff, students. Then in terms of the financial resources, basically 3 sources. Your proprietor, that's the first thing. In our case here, the state government, maybe in the UI federal government, your proprietor, of course, through TED fund. The VC was showing us the 3D design of the new Senate building that is being proposed for this. I think I've done the grand breaking. It's going to cost money. So that's from the proprietor, Osun State government on behalf of the good people of Osun State. Then the second stream is from the users, basically the students. I think there's also a cartoon in this write-up that is saying that with time, the contribution of the state government to the funding of the university, or in case of UIL federal, will reduce. Then you get more money from fees, because the population of students you are admitting is also increasing. And with time, you may also have foreign students who will be expected to pay higher fees. Then the third one will be for the donations, alumni, just as people have already been doing to support grants, alumni in particular. And I think the university should try to track the alumni. You already have 12,000. So you're adding another 2,000 today. So or this week, making 14,000. I think that is sizable. And the VC mentioned the fact that he receives a letter of the request to confirm whether X or Y graduated from here. I think it's very important. I think it's a lifelong assignment. So your alumni office has to be on top of the job. All I've said about university education and funding is summarized in this immortal words of James Conant, who was the 23rd president, that is the vice chancellor of Harvard University. He served for 20 years, 1933 to 1950. I'm quoting him. He said, "There's only one proof of assisting the advancement of pure science or learning. Men of genius in terms of human resources. Packing them heavily, we already alluded to the issue of financial resources, and leaving them to direct the research. That is autonomy. And good enough. The co-chancellor told us that he doesn't even need an office here. That it's not a full-time job. And I don't even know how it could have been asked since for almost a week now. It's 1 minute, only God knows how much it's. And it's also building the campus in the ancestral home in Fetedo. We appreciate it. I hope someday the federal government will recognize people like you appropriately. So, because it's a lot of. But one of the points to make is that generally we think as a country we are not making enough expenditure on education. So even when we compare to some selected countries, like UNESCO 2021, that was just last year, which represents Nigeria as contributing just 5.1% compared to other countries like Angola, Rwanda, and the highest was Namibia, 24.8. I know for government there are many things requesting for attention. As we drove this morning, I could see some roads, some roads that only one had been concluded. I'm sure it's not because this governor or the governors before him didn't want to conclude this. Also because of lack of or limited funds. The funds available to government were also limited. So, but at least they give more priority to education. And there is this quote from one of my living ancestors, Professor Osun, 75 years old now, so he's old enough to be my ancestor. He said the university cannot be run like a money spinning business or corporation and be expected to still retain the soul and sense of them. Harassed by budget cuts by the Nigerian government as to more than the lip service to education, our university is being forced to look for funds in every way. Why it must be admitted that some departments are in a better position to generate outside funds than others. Any attempt to qualify education and commercialize the disciplines can lead to further undermining of the universe in our university. Time we realize the university can never be run as a cost-effective corporation. There are simply certain forms of knowledge that can be judged on their market value. That's a quote by Professor Osun. We agree that universities are not for profit, but they are not businesses. University is not a business center. But at the same time, university, they need a lot of money, funds, to do their operations. I don't know, the co-chancellor mentioned something. I think public. Yeah, the co-chancellor said he would like to increase the salary of the staff in Osun State University once the money is there. Because I'm sure he's a very successful man. He doesn't like you to be earning peanuts. But if the money is not there, what can he do? He cannot turn his blood into money. Because if the staff is happy, then you don't expect much productivity. I only offered economics up to school start level. My economics teacher, Mr. Victor Farman, your president from Otaye Baju, taught me that out of all the various factors of production, land labor is the most. So So I can never forget that. So we have workshops, laboratories, and all that. If you're not able to attract and retain a quality staff, then there's a problem. So we should clap again for our pro-chancellor and chairman of council that gave it on his mind to improve your welfare as his economy improves. It depends on his economy now. I don't go and loot the bank because he wants to pay my good friends in the Osun State University. But I know it's almost on his mind. Talking of universities, there's quite a number of ranking bodies. But most universities in Nigeria, they talk of webometrics, but webometrics is the least important. If you check, there are 14 of them. The most important ones will be academic ranking of world universities, QS World University Ranking, the Times Higher Education World University Rankings, basically. Because the QS University in Nigeria can win because they rank the best 500. So the one we subscribe to is the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. And on that one, quite a number of Nigerian universities have featured. University of Ibadan, University of Osogbo, University of Ibadan. Lagos State University is there, as well as Covenant University in Nota. 6 Nigerian universities. I think Osun State University can also, if a private university can do it, so why not a university powered by the good people of Osun State? I'm sure the population of Osun State is more than many of the countries that are member of the OAU. So the purpose of the rankings is research performance. Because if you are well ranked, then you can also attract students from all over the world. I think there is something there where the United Kingdom, recently about 4 years ago, they came up with this high initial impact or something like that. It's mentioned there. So they wanted people to come to their country, but they said it will only be limited to students who have graduated from some specific universities outside the state. As I imagine the list is dominated by universities from the US, Canada, Australia, and the rest of them. So it's like getting it. Because at times, Nigerians go abroad to go and study. Even Americans go outside America to go and study. Britons go outside Britain to go and study. But in their own case, it's not really directional. As they are sending people, other people are also coming. I think our own students just go, and not many Nigerians, not many foreigners want to come here, like obvious reasons. If you go to present, any day you see a crowd of people looking for visa, I think they call it Japa now to immigrate. I cannot blame them. Research quality, because the university is not only for teaching students, so the 3 mandates teaching, research, and community service. And without research going on, they glorify the secondary school. After all, they also teach at grammar school. Research quality, research innovation and economic impact. Then you have to compare universities. You have football leagues, whether it's European Football League, Premier League, then university marketing. Then to assist students in choosing an academic institution, students they say, I want to go to attend a university that is among the top 100 in the world. 200, like I did here, London School of Economics and Political Science, which commendation was given by somebody from another institution. To assist students in choosing an academic institution, government funding or assessment, government say, okay, these are our elite institutions. Then down the ladder. Then academic teaching quality, then web performance improvement like the web. I said, if you're in terms of your ranking, you should not be aspiring to a well-ranked metric. I don't mention metric because it's not that important. But you should try to see how you can appear on the Times Higher Education. So the top 10 universities for last year, I think the one for 2023 we have been yesterday or today. You can see United Kingdom has 2 universities on the top 10, then 8 from United States of America. And when you now look at even the top 10 in Africa, South Africa, 5 of them. Ethiopia 1, Egypt, Nigeria 1, Algeria 1. But you know, I think the lecture that was given yesterday, as part of this conference, one of my colleagues from our department, asking the professor, how come University of Pretoria, you don't have small pages and you are, but the research output is often greater more than our own. In fact, they have to take it up. He said because we have a postdoctoral research fellowship program. That's when people complete their PhDs. The university will engage them for 1 year, 2 years, it cannot be extended to 5 years. All they do is research. They don't teach. They don't teach. So they then have a lot of occupations. And a few weeks ago, I saw, in fact, 2 of them, one from the University of Johannesburg in South Africa, where they advertised for 200 postdoctoral fellows. Of course, they encourage foreigners to come. It's also as if they are smuggling down the drains. Because when you go there, one of the is just like when the VC fellowship and all that. But when you publish papers, you are going to get your affiliation. So it's going to improve their research productivity. I remember research productivity is one of the criteria used in the institutions. And the postgraduate college, the 2 years ago, they tried. I think they engaged one gentleman, Dr. Yeah, he was actually in China when he applied, but it was still, and it was a success. I also told people that if you try to look for funds, maybe you won't direct him to Madam, she was supporting this more people. And so we already what has not already been contracted the strike, parties want to and also like I've said, of strike as regards the kind of Iraq in one head of state. That was, I think there was 1994, that's how the accounting corporate. Let's have a 50 years. Others have stood up that they propagate their accommodation. So the truth of it is always the past in the present. And if we continue like this, the future of the Nigerian university system, at least the public one, will be good. I was private university in Osogbo, one of our leaders, so I was really very impressed. I read that this private university within not give us the run for our own in the years to come. So, I mean, I've many of these nursery fathers and mothers. They are sending their children now, they are withdrawing their children from going to private universities. I'm not so but then have graduates. So it becomes a problem. If in public universities, because those of us who are working in universities, we are now sending our children to private universities. Then it means it's of no confidence. So I think we'll get there. So I will just spend the next 5 years. I said in the last 10 minutes that it's just about the mistake, because every politics is over. I refer to the interview granted Professor. It was published in the number of newspapers. He said that public universities, state and federal ones, are only models. The federal government operates a 100% funding model for personnel costs. Some state universities also run that same model of 100% funding, but it creates a lot of then some run 50, 60, 40. For us, in the state university, that's also the investment. We run approximately 50-50 model, whereby we contribute 50% of the personnel cost, and the state government also contributes 50% of the cost. So we take care of almost 100% of the cost of the university in terms of gardening, maintenance, cleaning services, sanitation, road services. What I can ask, what do you do with your idea? There are so many things that you can spend money on that people will not even know. You try to target the boundaries and all that. Your lecturers come. Undergraduates are engaged on work study program, and they are 30,000 and about 50 of the needy students are supported every semester. Then the Rosa schools to be 3 best at the end of 100 level in a country. Then scholarships of 100,000 each awarded by Osun not less than 50 of those are awarded a year. The VC already mentioned the fact that from the modest beginning of 2006-2007, the student enrollment, I mean, what I have here is 14,000, and you've told me that I actually hit the 15,000 mark. So it's really very important. Another point that is also very exciting is that you have more female than male students. So you are going to produce more than things. Now you have 56% students. I think the men need a part. They are busy watching the European Football League. So that's what passed your postgraduate. Then the number of academic staff has also increased from about 66 to 5. So statistics, because universities are equipped that more money on administrative than academic. But Osun State University is one of the few examples. So about 52% of the are academic staff. So it is not academic staff. So and at the University of Ibadan, 60% that is non-academic staff. Like you know, you can be an old man how to use his left hand. University is so our so the board. So I think the university is very well. But one area I also mentioned is that in the change party of the vice chancellor, you have not done the well. You have had 4 vice chancellors substantive and 3 vice chancellors. You have not had a single smooth transfer from substantive to another substantive. Our brother is completing his own in 4 years' time. There won't be need for acting vice chancellor. But of course, you can also add the ugly story. 7 active vice chancellors. The 7 is not bad. But your own is 3 in 18 years. So per capita. But when I look at the chairman of everything has been almost perfect here. It's only one short period that you didn't have a chance from June 2011 till November 2020. You have done better than most federal universities. So the last major part of this is advice for the vice chancellor. Of course, as congratulated in the day I was appointed, that the vice chancellor in the federal in the public is not exactly a tea party. It's a 5-year stint, and you complete that 5 years without completed. So you are in your first year. That's the only one. To give you benefit of the doubt, the next 4 years will not be that easy. So year 2 from January next year will be a period of separation process. Those who are disappointed this year, they join the senior. Who never see anything to vice chancellor. Citizens will begin to swell from those coalitions. Of course, there will always be committed men and women of goodwill who will be for. Then years after will be for enemy. Questions will start flying and center. Allegations of that were made. Some like this vice chancellor that I know is frugal, even in his pride. He lives above board and shuns ostentatious lifestyle. I can see the shoe is wearing is far cheaper than that of the pro-chancellor. Since it's not as rich, it's not as rich as the vice chancellor, as the pro-chancellor. Wrongs will be located. Nobody will try stealing. In fact, if I could buy a new wristwatch, you see now, there's some money. I have been wearing this watch in 1991. It's from 2 artificial grammar. It was given to my own actually. ICC and EFCC will come and go. Countless statutory and ad hoc committees of both the House of Council. Some of your colleagues, by their own standards, any no matter how innocuous, will be blown out of proportion in order to embarrass your person and the high office that you occupy. Then, if you are in war. Then the most important one is last year, succession period, and time to step down. Most and dangers of your stint as chancellor, considering that and you are then expected to become a lame dog. You first anchored your various actions against them, maybe a disciplinary committee or whatever, especially in relationary matter, put you below the belt. Most vicious and attack their flesh of pants. They will make use of the social under teachers and anonymous names to attack your personality using their face lies, fabrication and fiction. Even through online newspaper or guerrilla journalism in order to embarrass your person and office, and thereby achieve objectives to the system. They will be judged by easily ambitious and very to take over. Be assured that a few of them will be ready to pull down the roof of the house if it does not go their way. For colleagues who have the ambition to succeed, we expect your candidate. And if this is coming, you are better to start from one. Even candidates who have shown any talents as a scholar administrator and whom in honest assessment in your quiet do not have the capacity to be a vice chancellor, think they are doing that has happened to humanity since the invention of sliced bread. Nearly all to come over to inform you and seek your endorsement and support. They will watch your every step and outside the campus. If you have a sport for the candidates, prepared for war, especially if it is assumed that you are performing well enough and have support within the university, especially the leadership Senate, of which you are the chairman and ex officio and the chairman who is above board, you are lucky to have. Your life will be further complicated if the candidate they perceive supporting front runner and unarguably the present of it. They are only united in their opposition to the main candidate. If they be locked up in a room and request to come up with a consensus candidate, they are sure there will not be any unanimity of purpose among them. The tone and tenor in council is critical at this stage. We should read the body language of the pro and chairman of council. However, ensure that there is adherence to due process, stand rules and regulations governing our vice chancellor, and advise the chairman of council prepare over notes for the benefit of successor, and a detailed account worship to put in proper perspective your future achievements in office, which document is circulated to all the critical internal and external stakeholders. Some of the vice chancellor candidates who have come of within the university community will seek intervention, especially from their friends in high places, irrespective of the irreversible damage that such a misadventure will do to university autonomy. You can always expect the composition of appointees on the governing council by the chairman and the representative of the ministry of education. In the worst case scenario, the entire council is solved, and those colleagues have the end justifies the means. Petitions will be forwarded to PSS, CC, and the rest of them. The front runner during and after the have been made to damage your reputation. Some of your professorial even incite junior members of chaos. The ultimate aim is to remove